I guess I'm just gonna kind of start videoing some things about my life. This is really just because I had a friend ask me to do it because she was like, I just want to be involved in your life and I want to see it. And I was like, you know what, fair enough. I was like, I have absolutely no problems videoing my life and sharing it, and hopefully, you know, somebody else can also get something, because not only can it be like you just want to see what's going on in my life, but also like maybe you can get some pointers or what not to do, because you know my life has been a lot of what not to do, so maybe that's what this will be for you. So basically, a lot of what I'm going through right now is like, I feel like what a lot of people are going through, and just trying to figure out like who you are. And like that is such a weird concept for me, because I've always been one of those people who are very strong in my person. Like I know who I am. Like I've always known like what my boundaries are, what I will and will not do. Like I don't succumb to peer pressure. I have very set structured rules for myself. Like I know, like even the people around me do not have to question what I am and am not okay with. And like that is just something that I've been very big about. But now I think like I'm just having to kind of go a little bit deeper and figure out, like, not only is it what I will or will not take from other people, and like what I will kind of societally put myself in, but also like just within myself and like within my family life and like within my partnerships and stuff. And so I think like I'm just kind of navigating that, and I think that this is just kind of a year for change for me, like because my whole life I've been a very, and it's so crazy because I'm sure a lot of people would not even see me as that, and I know I never saw myself as that person, but I've actually been very structured, and I do not make rash decisions, like not the ones that are important. Like on my day-to-day life, I definitely try to have like a flowy energy, so like even my interactions with random people, like I've always been that person to walk up to random people, be like, dude, you look great, like you look gorgeous, you're super funny, your outfit is great, all that type of stuff, like introduce myself, no problem. But I'm actually very just conservative in the way of I do not make very big and rash decisions, because I've seen a lot of people make big and rash decisions and I wasn't really here for it. I didn't like that, didn't like the energy. But now I'm gonna try that, because maybe what I was doing wasn't working for me, and it may be that I need a happy medium, and so I guess I'm just gonna figure that out. um, but basically, I mean, I have moved a few times in my life, but those are always been due to military stuff. And I think this was basically my first time moving on my own, because I chose to. And so I'm just kind of making this decision that like I needed change for myself, and I'm just kind of gonna go with that for this whole year. Like I started off 2021 with making big and rash changes and doing things in a way that I would have never done them before. And so I think for me, that's definitely gonna be something big in my life. So I think that I'm like, this is definitely a time to goal set and find out what does not work for me and what does work for me. Because previously in my life, all I have is, okay, well, I have these people in front of me, my family, my friends, and I see what they've done, and I know that I don't want to do that. So I've had a lot of, I feel like I've been a really good teenager in that practice, and I have, when I was younger, taken what people have went through and what they tell me, and then be like, all right, I'm gonna learn from that, I'm not gonna go through that. But I think now it's time for me to create those like learning moments and find what does not work for me, because I know what does not work in general. Like I know that don't work. Like I've seen it, it's tried and true, it does not work. But now I need to find what works for me. And I'm just kind of like going back to the free spirited energy that I had, because I think, you know, life takes that from you sometimes, but I think that everybody deserves it if that's the type of life that you want to live, and I think that that is definitely the type of life that I want to live. So I'm gonna figure out how to get there. But with all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and go to what I was actually originally gonna talk about in this video. So I think for me, with the switches of energies that I'm going through, I have decided that I am actually a person who likes a personal list. Like I don't need a list for everything, but I think that I'm gonna definitely go with like a checklist for myself, so that I can kind of like knowing what direction I want to go. Like it's when you make a list, I think trying to adhere to it at 100% is like actually just really draining. But if you just have a list that just kind of gives you a synopsis of what you want, just an overarching thing, like that can be good for you because then you know what you're actually trying to go towards. So the first list that I just made is a goals list. Now I actually am probably gonna make these lists a little bit more like serious looking, so I don't know if I'm gonna show you this one, but I'll just kind of read it off to you and let you do it. And then if I do happen to make one, I will kind of tag it on to this video at the end so that you can see what it looks like. But these are like very much so just rough draft, just for my own personal, like it's literally in a journal, like. So, for me, I am a person with my checklist. I do like boxes, because then you can tack off what you have and have not completed. And that is just for me. Personally, when I write an actual list, I like to use like a little star, a little arrow, a little triangle to just kind of signify each thing, because I don't know why, but I just like to do that with my notes. But for lists that you want to check off, because at the end of the day, like with your life, you do want to check things off. Like, unless it's even with your day-to-day stuff, like you really do want to check things off, because for one, you get to feel accomplished about it, and for two, it just kind of helps you keep track. So, and it looks nice. I don't know. So for me, that's kind of how it's set up. So I have 3-month goals, 6-month goals, and in a year goal. So I think, which is so crazy, but I actually think that I did very much so well focus on my 3-month goal. And those are the most important because those are happening right now. And then 6 months had a little bit less, and then 1 year had a little bit less. So I actually made this like just off the top of my head kind of well. So let's see. So for my 3-month, I have 5 things that I really want to kind of check off my list. So I'm probably gonna tell them to you. I'm gonna try to like figure out for myself what I think is more important of the 5, and then go from there. It may not be 100%, and it may not be getting checked off as this is, but we're gonna go with it. So I think that one of the biggest things for me is going to be creating a current playlist for my moods, because I've always been super big on playlists, not in like that sense that a lot of people have a bunch of playlists, but I always have one playlist that is for moods, that is for my normal, what I will listen to, and then I have like 1 or 2 extra ones for different moods. So normally what happens to me is I have my current music playlist, and that has all the music that I go through, and I listen to literally everything. So like that playlist has a fucking collaboration of craziness. But then I normally have, like, at one point I had like my Spanish music playlist, because that's what I was really going for energetically at that moment. So I had one of those. And then I've also had country music playlists, and I've had alternative music playlists, rock music playlists, metal music playlists. So it's just kind of like whatever you're feeling, you know, hip hop music, rap music, whatever, go hard in the paint music, like like just love everything. So it really do just be whatever I'm feeling at that moment. So I don't know how many playlists I'm gonna end up with, but I know that I do need to get back to getting my music correct on my phone, because for me music is really big in my life, and it just helps me energetically, and makes me happy. Like I can always, like, I guess maybe it doesn't even just make me happy, it just, I get to feel, and like that's something that for me is very big. So I like to be in the feels. So the next thing that I kind of want to do is create a living environment with positive energy and growth. So I think that is one thing that I've always been very big on in my life, is growth. I just think that it's so important for people to grow constantly. Like, it's okay if your growth is nothing major. Like, it's okay if it's just a little thing, like, oh, I don't talk bad about myself just 5 times a day. I only talk bad about myself once. Like, oh, I take more pictures of myself because I think that I'm more attractive. Like, little changes. Like, oh, I don't drive 20 over the speed limit anymore. I only drive 10. Like, anything. Or I listen to music more, or listen to more music, or I read more, or watch TV more. Or I have morning cups of coffee more or less, or I have morning cups of tea more or less, or I eat more or I eat less. Like anything is good. So I think just making sure that you're growing, figuring out your personality, what you want every single day, because also we change over time. So sometimes you have to relearn yourself, and that's kind of what I'm going through. So, and for living environment, for me personally, I have not had the most positive environments in my life. Like, my environments have been conducive for me. Like, I would not say that they are conducive environments. They have just, I have been able to kind of overcome the negativities. But I was inherently a very positive kid and very happy and bubbly. And I mean, I am still definitely like that now, but it's not the same. Like, it's not that pure innocence, bubbly, always positive. Even if people do wrong, I can find the good in it. I'm not necessarily 100% like that anymore. But I can always give a stranger a smile, because guess what? That costs you absolutely nothing. So just try it. So yeah, but I really want to have a living environment that is positive energy. And like, when you walk into people's houses, you can feel it. Like, I don't even care if you're a person who doesn't do energy. You can feel if a person's household has positive energy, negative energy, or neutral energy, or chaotic energy, you know what I'm saying? Or structured energy. Like, you can feel that. So like, I just really want a household for myself that is positive energy. So that is going to be one of my really big goals. Other than that, there's also create a kitchen that resonates with my energy. Now, for some reason, I have found out that a kitchen is actually one of my spaces. Like, in a home, that is a space that it's my own. Like, I have always been, a kitchen is a safe place, which is so weird because a kitchen is such an open place. Sometimes your kitchen is connected to your front door. I mean, it's just like, it's weird. But I always think that I also find that kitchens have a lot of light coming in, good windows, and I like that. And also, you cook food in there, and you cook food for the people that you love and that you care about, or you cook food for yourself. So I think that for me, that's just like a very important part of my house, which I never thought, but I guess it's also because I never felt trapped in that. So, you know, like, sometimes I felt trapped in my room, and I know a lot of teenagers can, you know, relate to that. But if you feel trapped, like, that space, like, you're fighting to make that space yours. It's really actually a hiding space, more of a conducive space to let your energy free. And I think sometimes we associate that with not in like, it's just inherently, like, we didn't mean to, we didn't want our room to be a cage, but that is what it became, because within that cage we were allowed to be ourselves. So like, that's like, it's like a whole thing. But for me, I find that the kitchen, I've actually just not had negative things in my kitchen. So therefore, I think we're gonna go with that, and I'm gonna make that kitchen like the most positive thing that I can. So we're just gonna try to, which, by the way, for Christmas, I got a cast iron teapot, and I'm super excited to use it, because that is actually going to be the foundation of my kitchen. Like, that's what my kitchen's gonna be around. So I'm super excited about that. I'm going to read more, because I've always been an avid reader, and I just want to get a little bit more reading done in my life. So let's see how that one goes. It's not really a hard one. I mean, I do kind of read still. It's just read a little bit more, like, consistently. Like, just like a low ongoing book that's like, yeah. And then for the last one is get rid of clothes I don't wear, because I literally have so many clothes. I got rid of like 3 trash bags worth of clothes, and I still have a ridiculous amount of clothes. It's insanity. So I just need to get rid of them, because also these are clothes, as a girl, these are clothes that I've had since like elementary school, 5th grade, like since middle school, and I'm a different person. And I've also been somebody who went through a lot of stages. I went through a lot of fashion stages, because I just wanted to find what I liked, what worked for me, and sometimes because I changed through so many like micro personalities, I guess. But I've picked up a lot from all of these. So it's like, there are definitely staples within my wardrobe that are not even relevant. So like, I don't need a cohesive wardrobe. I just need a wardrobe full of a bunch of shit that I really like. And so I think I just want to get rid of a lot of shit that I don't like, because yeah, it's pretty. Yes, it's very hard to find those items, but I don't even wear the items. So maybe I just need to get them away. So now we're moving on to my 6-month checklist. So for that, I have 3/4 things. One of them is kind of double labeled, so that's why it's that. But I'm gonna try to go through the 6 month. So these are things that could take more time or require certain things to be met in order for them to happen in the next 6 months. And I may not even have I may not have the time to do it in 6 months. I may not have the like ability to do them. So that's why I put them in the 6 month, basically. So I want to get more outside time and sun time. So like, I'm just somebody, I grew up in the South in Georgia. So I just enjoy being outside. I like to be warm. I even like to play outside in the rain. I like all types of things. And I just want to kind of put myself outside more, because that's always been a really happy place for me. Like, not even necessarily happy, because sometimes emotions are not happy, but it's a place where I feel free and able to express my emotions. And sometimes you can just get that emotional connection. I want to get a new tattoo. So I only have two. I have this one that you can see right now, and then I have this other one. And that's my tattoo with my best friend. But that was my first one. So I want more, because I want a lot of tattoos. I want 2 half sleeves, and I want a back piece, you know. And I feel like I'm pretty set on what I want, you know. Surrealism sunflowers, new school sunflowers, and then trash polka with red, and then Japanese on the back. So I'm just pretty, like I've been wanting that for a long time, so I feel like I'm just gonna go for it. We're gonna like it. It's gonna be great. But yes, I want a new one. I don't even think I think this new tattoo that I'm about to get, it depends on how I'm feeling. Because if the energy is right, I can end up with anything. But my brain is telling me it's gonna be like a smaller one anyway. So, but we'll see. And then get a new wardrobe that goes with my energy. So again, I just want to get back to having my closet reflect my energy, and me having a bunch of clothes that I love. Because having clothes that you love is so important, especially to loving yourself, because it doesn't even matter how attractive you think you are if you have clothes that just hide you or don't even portray your personality. Like, it just doesn't work. You're not going to be connected with your clothing, and I feel like you should, because clothing is a way for you to express yourself to other people without even saying anything, and like, that's really important. So finding your clothes is pretty important to me, and I feel like I've gone through a lot of transitions, so I just need to clean it up a little bit. Like, it doesn't have to be all the same thing, because I'm not the type of person. I go through moods, but it just needs to be a little bit more clean. Like, I just need a lot of things that I like, not just some things that I like and some things that are cool sometimes. And then I want to bartend, because I've wanted to bartend for a really long time. So within the 6 months, hopefully I can bartend a little bit. I'm looking into serving jobs, so maybe that'll get me there, maybe it won't, whatever. And then for my year-long goal, again, the bartending is the year-long or 6 months, depending on what. Because really, I don't know for me if that counts as me bartending as a job, or if it counts for me just bartending and getting some experience. I don't know. And then my final one for this goals checklist, my year-long goal, is to learn how to grow food. Because for some reason, I'm just like, I want to do it. Okay, I want to do it. I want to grow some foodies so that I can eat them. Okay, because it just seems like such a good thing to have, a good skill set. And worst comes to worst, I suck at it. That's okay. All right, so let's move on to the next checklist that I have. I only have these 2 as of right now, so that's probably what we're gonna go with for this little vid. So this one is my energy checklist. This one's probably a little bit, I feel like it's just as personal as the other one, so it's not even that deep. But it's also very set up similarly. It has my little boxes, my little check boxes, but I don't think I want to keep them check boxes, because I don't think, like, I'm either going to have to make a list of these to be like daily or weekly, or I'm going to have to make a list of this to just be reminders for me. I don't know yet. But I have some things that I think that I need to focus on or incorporate into my life that I've either have had and it worked before, or I want to try and see if it works. So let's go through that. 30-minute music focused time. Again, like I said, I'm very big on music, so I just think I want to incorporate at least 30 minutes of like uninterrupted music focused time, because why can I not have 30 minutes of my day? Why? Tell me why. No reason. Okay, thanks. Then I want to do yoga and stretches. So I think yoga will be just very good, again, for your energy. But also, I'm not going to say that I'm going super deep into yoga, because I'm just not even going to tell you that. Because that might not even be true. But do I want to stretch my body and, you know, get to feeling it? I think I do, because I think stretching is just a really good thing. Loosens you up. Let's go with some of that stress you got going on, and I feel like that's very legitimate. I want to do weightlifting because I've weightlifted before, and I think it's just really good for my body. Makes you feel good, and I think it makes you it helps you eat a little bit cleaner just because you think about it. But you know, it doesn't even matter. I just think it'll be good to have a little weight lifted in my life, because again, I've done it and I liked it. I want to come to understand the energy flowing within myself. That's a little bit of a kind of crazy one, I guess. Like, that's very open-ended. That could literally mean anything. I mean, I could find something out, and then that can be what helps me understand better. Or I could just not find anything, go through a bunch of things that I'm like, yeah, that's not for me. So, I just kind of want to understand my energy flow and, like, what stops it, what helps it, what heals it, what hurts it, all that stuff. Find what calms my spirit and brings positive energy. That's kind of like a continuation of the other one. And I just kind of want to figure out, like, I know that music helps me, but I don't know if that's for, like, the only thing that can help me. And I don't know if there are a lot of other things that can calm your soul, basically. Like, because if you're not looking to calm your soul, like, you must already be pretty calm, and I'm just definitely not. So I just need to find something that kind of, like, helps me flow a little bit better, because I feel like I'm very choppy right now. So I just need a little bit more flow in my life. All about that positive energy, for real. I also want to become more organized. Now, I'm actually a pretty organized person. I mean, I'm not, like, super cluttery or anything. I am cluttery, but I'm not, like, I don't normally sit in a space that is completely dirty for long periods of time. Like, I believed in a lived-in home, but not a messy home. So a lived-in home, yes, it is gonna get cluttered, it's gonna get messy, but guess what? You can clean it in a day. And that's, like, I think a very big thing. Because also, I don't want to, for one, I don't want to clean every day, but for two, I also don't want to clean all day. So I think I do, like, a little limbo between both. I'm like, okay, I'll do, like, the downstairs and I'll do the upstairs. Or it's like, oh, I'll do these two big rooms, the living room and the kitchen, and then I'll do the dining room the next day, and laundry the next, like, laundry in the dining room together, or my room in the laundry. Just little combinations, but I don't normally like to do every day, and I don't normally like to do all day. That's just me. But I just want to organize a little bit, and, you know, make sure that all of my things have a home, because sometimes you just have parts of your house that you're like, I don't even know where this stuff goes, so I don't even have a place to tell you to put it. Just set it there on the counter, and it's like, you don't want that. I want to become more minimalistic and keep things with purpose. So that kind of goes back to everything needs a home. And if it doesn't serve a purpose, why do you have it? Like, you're allowed to have things, and the purpose is it makes you happy. That is the purpose. Like, that's definitely not what I'm saying, that it has to be, oh, glass cups because I drink water. Like, it can be anything. It can be, oh, these books because these books bring me happiness, bring me joy. These clothes because these clothes bring me happiness. You know what I'm saying? Video games, TV, whatever you enjoy. I mean, like, I have a bunch of candles because I'm kind of in there right now. But it's like anything that you want. Just find your setups. Go through stuff. Get rid of stuff. Whatever. And then I want to find what medium I energetically connect with. So I've been using some candles here lately, and I know music works for me. So music plus candles actually working pretty decent for me. But, you know, it's just nice to venture out and see what you work with. Now, be a little bit careful. I don't want to get wild, but just find some things that could work for you. So basically, that's all I have for my list. They're two, like, decent sized lists. They weren't small by any means, but they weren't huge either. Definitely doable things. And we'll see how they go. I think I'll probably just kind of keep up with this a little bit, like it's a little thing on these lists. So, alright, thanks for listening.